So now actually we need this Windows library. So actually this function, this is actually very slow. It is not efficient at all. We do not want to use a system CLS every time we want to display new things on the screen. This is bad, this is not good, this is slow. So we are going to directly put things on the screen, right? So we are getting a coordinate to start from. For our cursor to start from, we are starting from the top left portion of the screen. So we are calling this function to set the cursor position. We are giving it the actual console that this should happen on, and then we are giving it the position that we are going to move the cursor, right? We are moving the cursor and we are moving it towards 0, 0. And then instead of using all of this loop, what we are going to do is we are going to put our thing directly on the screen, right? Instead of doing all of that, we are going to display our array directly on the screen. So let us comment this code and let's change this to ARR. Okay, it is working and it is fast, but as you can see, it is not actually a game board anymore. These lines should not be here. So actually we did something wrong. So actually we need to modify our clean function. It's okay to place X's on all of the possible positions, but the last position of our board, it needs to be an end line. When we place this array directly on the screen, instead of using all of this, this should be included as a part of this. The last thing should be an handle. Right, so this looks much better, right? There is one issue with this. If my snake goes to the boundary, this will actually remove the handle, and this is not good. I don't want this. I want the snake to never move to this location because handle is here, right? This is going to be very complicated to modify all of the logic here. What I will do is I will simply add 1 here, right? So that the width is actually 1 more than it should be, and that last position that now we have, I will place the handle here, so that this whole logic that we wrote, it doesn't get destroyed. So the snake will still move as it did before, but now it will give me 1 extra location for this. So actually everything needs to have this now, because I have 1 extra position for this. I need to have 1 extra position for here as well in my function parameters to make it work fine. Our snake can move fine, and it will not crash into the wall. Like it will crash fine. It will not go beyond the boundary of the screen, right? It works fine, and we are dead as we should be. So there is still an issue with all of the system. In the beginning, I told you that we can have a good structure in which we are not doing all of this, right? I want this loop. I want to insert things into this loop dynamically. I don't want to manually add these functions here, right? For simple games, it is actually fine to do this, but when you have complex systems working together, it is actually not very nice to have all of this here. Also, we need to work on this soon. Anyhow, when we have complex systems, we want this to automatically happen. So for that, we are actually going to move towards an object-oriented structure for our game and everything else. We have a good 90 lines of code and everything works fine, but now we are going to move towards a better structure for this game. So before, what I did was I had some global variables and an update function for each thing, right? So but now I want to have something that automatically does all of this. If you are familiar with data structures and object-oriented programming, you should already see some optimizations that I can do here. So for starters, let's make a class, right? This will be our game engine. it will handle all of the drawing and all of that. We shouldn't be manually changing this. Once this is done, this should be done, right? And then I'm going to have class for game object or simply object, right? So I want all of the familiar things in my game to be in a single position. Right now, what do you see common between snake and bullet? They both have a function that updates them, an update function. There's one for bullet and there's one for snake, right? And what I also see is they both have positions. They have X and Y positions. So what I want is, I want these to be a part of everything that goes on the screen. So let's do that. Everything will have an X position, everything will have a Y position, right? And everything will also have two functions with them. So if you are already familiar with the code here, you should already understand that this update function will work as it did before. The start function will work as it did before. This start function is actually new. We'll talk about this later, but this should be very familiar to you. Instead of having these variables on the outside, now I have these variables in the inside. This is a good advantage of object orientation. I can have these variables in the inside instead of having them outside, right? We should handle this game engine class first. Like I said, this actually, all of the actual code that handles everything, it will actually belong in the game engine. I want everything to be public. Yeah, this is not very object oriented of me to have everything public, but it makes things simpler. I like having things public. So my input, it is going to be a public data member, and this should be indented. I actually want this game board to also be public, and we can make these rows and calls constant static variables, but I'm not going to be dealing with all of that here. I need to remove this and let's call it something else. Let's call it run, right? Everything else is basically the same. I'm actually just moving from the old structure to a new structure, right? The advantage of classes is that now I have these variables inside of my class. I can use these from the inside, and everything else is actually basically the same. Another advantage is that now the snake and the board functions, they are not mixed together. The game engine itself, it can handle all of that, and I can actually make these functions private. The user does not need to deal with clean board and draw board, right? The user should only be dealing with the public variables, the public functions that are relevant to the user. The user should never be calling clean board and draw board, right? They are our hidden functions. They are actually the internal part of the game engine. So I'm going to use polymorphism a bit. Instead of having this game logic here, what I actually need is an array of game objects. So my game can actually have 1000 objects at maximum. We shouldn't be actually hard coding this value. We should use a better structure like a vector, but right now I'm talking about handling the basics. So for now this is fine. And what I want is, I want to loop. I can also have an object count. Let's make a constructor. When a game engine instance is created, there should be 0 objects. So what I want is, I don't want to manually put things here. I don't want to manually edit the code of the game engine, right? I don't want to mess with the code here. It should work fine for everything. I want to be able to add things into this while loop dynamically. I want to automatically add things here and automatically remove things from here. We can actually use polymorphism. I can make an array of objects, right? I can make a lot of objects, and for each object I can call the update function. Each object will have an update function as we did here, and I can call the update functions of my game objects dynamically, automatically here. So whatever number of objects I have, automatically call the update function for each of them. First of all, I will add functions that will allow me to add new objects into this game and remove new objects from this game, right? That should be our first objective. Actually, I also want this to be an array of pointers. Why I want this to be an array of pointers, and I know some of you will not like pointers at all, but it is actually important that we use pointers here because it will help us in having our objects be coherent. It is actually generally just good to have an object with pointers here, trust me. I want to be able to add object. Let's create an object add function. It will be a pointer to an object, and make this dynamic, right? If I add another object and it is going to overflow, I'm going to simply exit here, no more objects. This is actually a very basic form of error handling. I want to place this object in this array. This array will now contain this object, and I will increase the count so that eventually when I am running this code for every object, this new object will also run that code, right? We will do that in a bit, but this is actually the basic code for addition of a new object. Object remove is just a little bit more complicated. For this we need to search our game, and if we find the object we are looking for, we are going to remove it. If we place a simple null pointer here, this might give us an error, and this might create holes in our array. We want to shift everything else one position below. If I have an array like this, snake, we have multiple snakes in the object array, and if I remove a snake here, this will now give us an error later. So I don't want an error here. I want this snake to come here and this snake to come here, so that this 0 is at the end, and the code that I'm going to run here in a bit, it doesn't run for this last 0, right? This will make sense in a bit, but for now just trust me. So I want every next object should be moved to the location of the previous object, so that this object of I, this actually gets replaced by the next, and the next gets replaced by the next, and the next gets replaced by the next till the end. At the end of all of this, we have one less object left. Since everything is shifted one below, the last position is actually empty. So for that we actually just subtract 1 from the count. It automatically will not matter for us, like it will not matter for our code anymore, because it is outside of this variable that we constantly check for the number of objects, right? So this should actually add and remove objects safely. So now what we want is, we want to run the update function for all of our objects, right? So this is actually a very neat structure. Whenever you want to add something to the game, you call this function from outside. You can dynamically add whatever you want, and you can actually remove dynamically anything you want. This is valid for a lot of games, and a lot of game engines that you see in the wild, they will have a similar structure in terms of what they allow you to do. So another thing I want to do is, if you know polymorphism, I want to make these functions pure abstract functions. So this will make sure that I do not create an object of type object. I also want the player to not have a direct access to this or these. I don't want the player to have a direct access to these. I'm going to make these private. This is simply to avoid having any errors. The player will not directly access these. Let's go full object oriented here. So instead of having these, I can have functions void character get input. Let's call it place character, and actually let's simply copy the logic that we wrote here. And while we are at it, why not create functions to place strings as well, like real text, right? We need to have string library. We can also create functions to place multiple sized, like right now we can also only place things that span a single character, right? But we can also place something that spans multiple characters. Let's actually handle that later. This should be enough for now.